Hey, what's up? Brandon Northwicks here, and you're on another episode of the Business for Breakfast show. We are on episode number 13 right now, and today we're going to discuss all about benefits, responsibilities for both business owners, family men, family members, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. We have some things that need to be set up, and our mindset has to be just right. So stay tuned, stick with me now. We're about to get right into it. Okay, so one of the big questions that I receive a lot of the time is, well, Brandon, I want to build my business, but how do I do it if I only want to work a few hours a day? If I only want to work a few hours per week? Or even worse, Brandon, I only want to work a few hours per month. Is there any way that I could build this business the way that I see it in my mind? And I'm going to be brutally honest with you on today's show, so I hope that you take this all with a grain of salt and you really start to produce or you really start to really make more time available for what you have to offer. Now, if you're one of those people who are thinking, I'm gonna get out of my day job, I'm gonna go ahead and escape this one thing that I really hate that I wake up and do every single morning without understanding the responsibility of doing that, then you're gonna be disappointed in the long run. And what I mean by that is, a lot of the folks who get into business for themselves, they get taught that, you know what, all you have to do is just put up a couple of things every day. People will just find you, they're gonna click through, they're gonna purchase from you, and that's not the case. It's not the case. It's what everybody's selling out there right now, and it's a bunch of BS. You're gonna hear it from people in the internet marketing business and industry. You're gonna hear it from people who are trying to grow teams in any shape, way, or form. But what the real deal is that if you want to succeed, you've got to understand that the responsibilities are directly attached to the benefits. Meaning that if you're looking to really create a income that's going to help you live that freedom lifestyle, you're still going to be working for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. The reason why it feels like it's freedom though is because you're doing what you love. Believe me, you're looking at me right now in front of this camera and I've been able to put in hours every single week. A lot of hours every single week. But it's not like it's work to me. It's really something that I enjoy doing. So at the end of the week, when I've got my family here with me and we're out there at the park, we're enjoying life, I'm still out there, still answering emails, responding to people on social media, and taking time out of my day to really connect with my audience, because those are the people that are going to continue to pay you. Those are the people that are going to continue to be inside your business. So if you have thought to yourself, well, you know what, I've read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week, Brandon. I think what you're telling me is just a flat out BS. I think you're working too hard. Well, show me the 4-hour work week that Tim Ferriss is working, because I will guarantee you that he's working a little bit more than 4 hours. Follow him around on social media, watch his shows, go through his content. It's 0% chance that he's only working 4 hours per week. That book is there and designed for people to understand that there's automation involved, that the actual focal point of work would be the things that are tedious to you, or the things that will really you're not excited about. But I can guarantee you that he's out there having meetings. He's out there meeting new people. He's out there doing the things that he needs to do to further his cause. Now, that is the big picture right there, is what's your cause? What's your purpose? Why are you even doing what you're doing? Without that clear knowledge, without that wisdom behind it, without you knowing what it's going to take and why you're doing it, then you're going to sit there and you're going to look at people who are, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week in their business, and you're going to think, well, why would I replace my work week with another work week? Well, that's the big issue right here, is we've got to be able to disconnect that inside your mind. We've got to be able to get you to separate those two. Because what I'm doing every week in and week out inside of my business is not considered work to me. It's not. It's something that I absolutely love. The impact that we make on people and the way that we're able to help their business grow and grow it to new heights. It literally makes me feel, fulfilled at the end of the day, to where it's not when you come home after work and you feel drained and down and you feel heavy and you feel like, man, I just given all my time to this person and I only got, $12 an hour. When that's the thought process that you go through day in and day out, your family feels it. Your dream will dwindle. It's not going to be as bright for you, and you're not going to be motivated to get up and work that next day. So what is it that we want to focus on? Well, we want to really focus on the fact that the benefits that you're looking to have and feel and experience are directly related to the responsibilities that you must endure. So you've got to be able to take that into consideration when you're looking to build a business. Do you really want to build a business? Or do you just want somebody to give you a ton of money? Are you looking to hit the lottery? Do you want somebody to really just come and give you $1 million so that you can sit back and relax? Well, if that's the case, then business isn't for you. You know what I mean? It's just not for you. Entrepreneurs have the spirit of being able to create things from scratch, solving problems and generating a way to really distribute that solution to the masses. So if you don't think that, you're going to have responsibilities that are attached to your new business, then you are in for a rude awakening. And I encourage you to not get into business, because you're going to end up blaming, the person that is teaching you, or you're going to blame the circumstances, because you're sitting here thinking that, well, I saw this one person, who's only working 2 hours a week and he's making $1 million. You're not seeing the behind the scenes work. There is a lot of automation that can make it very simple for you to get a lot more done in your day. That's the truth. Okay, let's clear that up right now. You can give a lot of effort to things that don't produce a massive result, or you can give very little effort to things that do produce a massive result. That's up to you. That's up to your system, to your processes. But there's still going to be time throughout the week that is required for you to be able to further that cause. And that's one thing that it really irritates me when I hear these new business owners coming into play and they say, you know what, I only have an hour a day to work on my business. Well, you're going to fail. If you're not going to fail, then it's going to take you 10 years to get there. And the reason why is because who in their right mind loves something and only dedicates an hour to it, right? It's impossible. If you love what you do, then you should be immersed in it. You should be thinking about it 24 hours a day. It's like your family. Do you really want to only spend an hour a day with your family? Probably not. If you do, then you probably don't love them as much as you might think you do. I'm telling you, I love to spend time with my family, and I'm willing to sacrifice, the 16 to 18 hour days, the 20-hour days right now, so that in 5 years, we could start to really spend the entire day together. But like we know, building something from scratch is going to take effort. It's going to require patience. And it's going to require you having the right systems and tools set up so that you can end up making the most out of your time. Without those things set up for you, without a good mentor, without a good process and system, without a vision or a purpose, you're not going to make it. And so today's message is all about something that I heard in service yesterday. And that just got me to think that the benefits are tied directly to the responsibility and vice versa. So when you get into your business, you can't do it half-ass. You've got to be able to do it all in. If you're not considering, the alternative, right? And you know for a fact that I am not ever going to go back to my job. I will never walk in that direction or down that path to be able to, have to clock in for somebody else and require time from me doing something that I really don't enjoy. If you've already made that decision, then you've got to now attach yourself to responsibilities behind that. Do you wake up early enough? Do you stay up late enough? Are you doing the things that you need to do that are producing an income throughout the day? I mean, I always use this as an example, which is, the Michael Jordans, the Michael Jacksons, the best people at what they do, the Seth Godins, everybody that's out there that is doing the things that, you might want to do, the professionals, the elite. Take a look at their schedule. Take a look at their routine. The Michael Jordans of the world, they're showing up early to practice and they're staying late. They're grabbing a mentor and a coach that can do things outside of practice time because nobody else is. When people get done with practice, a lot of the time in those kind of industries, they feel like I'm going to kick up my feet. I've already put in my work for the day. Well, the top people, the elite, the best of the best are those that when they get done practicing, guess what they do? They do a little bit more practicing, whether it's reading books, visualizing exercises, going through and actually practicing more physically. Same thing that you have to do with your business. You might look over to your left and look over to your right and see somebody that is, generating an income of 10 grand a month, and you're saying, okay, well, how much hours do you work a week? And they say, oh, I only work about 20 to 25. And you now think, oh, well, if I have to spend more than that amount of time building up my business or dream, I'm not doing it right. That's not the case. They're not telling you the whole picture. They're not telling you the whole picture. I can guarantee that the people who are really making an impact, if you want to make 5 to 10 grand a month, you can do that. You can do that off of 20, 25 hours a week. You could do that. But is it really what you want? Because imagine as the years go and inflation takes place and the dollar ends up decreasing or whatever it is that the economy is telling you these days it's doing, what are you going to do in 2 years from now, 3 years from now when your 10,000 is only worth, say, 8,000? what are you going to do? You only have one system in place. You've been used to and grown accustomed to just, basically saying, well, I'm not going to work more to make more. I'm not going to help more to earn more. If that's the case, then in a couple years, you're going to end up feeling the exact same way you do now, wondering why your head is barely above water and what can you do differently. Well, the difference between the people who want to only work a couple hours a week and the people who are willing to do whatever it takes is that income. It's the responsibility. They don't look at the responsibility as a burden. They look at it as an opportunity to rise above and to lead by example. And when you get to that point inside your business where every day you wake up and you're motivated and you're excited and you're happy to take on whatever challenges the day faces, you know that you're going in the right direction, right? So for you watching this right now, if you have ever thought about building a business from scratch and what is it going to take, I'm going to be the first person to tell you that it's a lot of hard work. It's dedication, it's persistence. It's not easy, and that's why 95% of the businesses fail in the first 5 years, is because they were sold this dream and then end up living the nightmare. And I know, for instance, I'll tell you a story that when I got started in my business in internet marketing, before I do what I do now, it literally broke me down because of the fact that I was taught, you know what, you could do this 30 minutes a day. If you're spending more than 2 hours a day on your business, you're doing it wrong. You've got to learn how to do it in less than 2 hours a day. That's the whole goal of this. That's not the truth. And I have definitely built a new business around the way that we have been able to feel the best about what we do. Meaning that when we were in that other industry and what we were being taught was basically saying that if you're working more than 2 hours, you're doing it wrong. We've gotten around actual, $1 million earners, like $50 million per year earners. And what do you see that they all have in common? They don't put a limit on their hour work week. They don't. You have some people who will honestly say to the public, I only work 20, 25 hours a week. That's like maybe hands-on work with clients and things like that. But they're still doing marketing. They're still building out new projects. They're still focusing on product launches. They're still doing a lot of engagement. They're still creating content. They're doing a lot of things, but the actual hands-on work with clients or the hands-on work with their team, that might be only 20, 25 hours a week. But then people, as humans, right, we take this so literal that when you hear that message, you end up believing that that's the only amount, like they actually have a clock-in schedule. I can guarantee you that, look at the Gary Vaynerchuks of the world. Look at the Grant Cardones. They'll tell you that hustle, 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 hustle. That is the best way to do it. I'm not making up this strategy. I'm not the person that's sitting in front of you saying, well, look, this is the first time that you're going to hear this. If you don't work hard, you're not going to succeed. No, it's just that, what's your level of hard? What is your level of working? If you are not willing to dedicate and do whatever it takes and put in those 16 to 18 hours, then you're not meant for it. And if you think that you're going to build a business off of 2 hours a day, then I'm here to tell you that you better have one damn good system, because it's not going to work. It's not going to last. You have people out there right now that are putting, $10,000 to $20,000 a month out there working online, 2 hours a day, right? That's their message. Work 2 hours a day. I'll show you how. The only reason why that even works is because they've put in for years, hours at a time. Does that make sense? Like, they're not just a new person to business starting out and all of a sudden now they've got this magic formula to be able to generate an income to replace their job in 2 hours a day. It does not happen. I don't care how awesome the system is. I don't care how badass your leaders are. Like, it's not going to work. Okay? And if you're listening to this message and you don't agree with me, I'm sorry for you, but it's the truth. Okay? This is the truth right here. We got to be able to separate these people who are watching this from those that want to get rich quick and want to go ahead and think that they can start a business and just overnight have this success. There's that quote that says, what is it? It takes 10 years to become an overnight success. People don't get it. When they start to see you for the first time and you've really made it and you now can bring your message to the market on a massive level, people who have never heard your message before are going to look at you and go, oh, wow, this dude came out of nowhere. That's not the case. You've been hustling. You've been grinding, right? You've been making sure that that message now can get in front of that person or in front of the masses. And without you putting in that work, you would have never been able to become that quote unquote overnight success. So think about that next time you look at somebody who you've never seen before for the first time. Think about that for the first time when you see someone who's in business and you're like, wow, I've never seen this person before. He's making 10 million a year, 20, 30, 40 million a year. He must have just, something crazy must have happened. His mentor must have done this, or his family must have been rich, or he must have came underneath somebody else and just took over the business. That's not the case a lot of the time. A lot of the time, us as entrepreneurs have started from nothing, started from scratch. And if you're watching this right now and you don't know about my story, a quick background is that, we came from less than $100 a month in our business to now clearing over 10K, on our way to over 20K. And our goal is, of course, to break the 100K mark before the end of this year, 100K per month before the end of this year. So how can we do that if we honestly only wanted to put in 2 hours a day? And why would you want to if it's something that you actually love? So remember that as you go through your day, as you start to build your business and you ask yourself these questions, what is it going to take for me to succeed inside business? Well, number one, it's going to take for you to understand the responsibility. Number two, you're going to have a passion that motivates you enough to get out of bed early enough, right, before the world wakes up, and stay up late enough after they all go to sleep, still doing what you need to do to advance your purpose. You also need to understand that the results that you see are directly correlated to the mindset that you have. So if you do not see yourself making $100,000 a month, if you cannot believe it, then it's not going to happen. And that goes down for the scale as low as $1,000 a month if you're just looking to kind of replace some sort of side income. So remember that it all starts with the belief inside your heart. It all starts with you seeing it, believing it, and then achieving it. Napoleon Hill was onto something, I think, back in the 1920s when he made that his whole deal. That was the man, right? Now, 100 years later almost, and we're still using that same concept. Why? It's because it goes back to the biblical times when they said the same thing. You've got to see it to believe. You've got to see it in your mind. You got to believe it in your heart for you to ever achieve it in reality. So make sure that if you take away anything from this video, from the show today, it is that you can start to directly correlate the benefits that you want from your business and from your family to the responsibilities that it takes. No business is looking for half commitment. They're not looking for something that is going to say, hey, look, you know what? I'm a business and you're somebody who wants to build me up. Okay, well, you could do it part-time and I'll still give you the benefits that you're looking for. There's not going to happen. There's not one business out there that's going to do that. Businesses require your full focus. Businesses require your full dedication. Same thing with your family. Same thing with anything in your life. So I hope you got a lot of value out of today's show. Go ahead and like, comment, and share on this. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you have any questions that you would like answered on the next one, go ahead and drop them in the comments below as well, and I'll answer them personally. And as well, if you would like to sit down with me one-on-one and get your free 60 to 90-minute Skype session where we can maybe lift some of those self-limiting beliefs, maybe get you to a plan and a strategy that can get you to where you want to go financially, make sure to click the link below this button, follow the form, fill it out, let's get started on that. I'll make sure to contact you within 24 to 48 hours to set up your free Skype session. Again, thanks again for watching episode number 13 on the Business for Breakfast show, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.